Tonight's lecture is my final lecture for company law M&A. Okay, so why do I choose this insider trading and market manipulations? Insider trading is 内幕交易和市场操纵, right? Now, this is the situation right now everywhere, all over the world, is having a repetition of the Great Depression. The Great Depressions of 1929 happens 100年前, and during that time, there was massive insider trading and market manipulations. This lecture I need to dedicate to my Professor LCB Gower. If you were in England, you would have noticed Gower on company law. He was my company law teacher at LSE, and also I learned this topic, insider trading and market manipulations, from Professor Louis Laws of Harvard Law School. So my lecture tonight, and also the 5th editions of my company law textbook, will be dedicated to these two great professors, Professor LCB Gower in England and Professor Louis Laws in USA. Okay, now the next slide is 2. Now, what is insider trading? Insider trading 不需要是股东啊，也不需要是董事啊， right? Then who can be insider trading? It can be 个人利用公司敏感的消息. An individual make use of unpublished. Unpublished means 还没有公开. Price sensitive about a company's securities 股份, and to his benefit 受到自己的利益, right? As I said before, doesn't have the insider, doesn't have to be 不需要当股东，也不需要当董事. But what is the purpose of information? The information is either to get a profit or to avert a loss. 不是每次都要有利益, right? It can also avert a loss. Avert a loss. A loss is 损失. So insider information, do not be mistaken. It doesn't have to be always profit, or benefit to the individual. No, it has to be either a benefit or make use of the information to prevent a loss. Okay, next slide, please. Now, US position. Insider trading for many years is a very popular course at Harvard 大学. You know, it's a very famous course under securities regulations, right? So 美国的立场. Then the Federal Securities Code mentioned something. It is the issuer, a director, or officer. Director can be 董事, an officer includes 管理人, or by any person by virtue of his relationships to the issuer. Issuer means that the company that is going to go public. Okay, issuer means that the company is going to be public. Public means going to be listed either on the stock exchange, whether it's Hong Kong or in Singapore or in London, right? The issuer is that company that is going to be listed, can be the stock exchange in London, right? Right now, we all must know one thing. Because of the situation now going on in the world, what's going to happen? Then you will have the situations of 越来越多中国公司在哪里上市呢？不是在美国，在香港城市，在新加坡城市，或者是在深圳 or Shanghai. The stock market prices, if you have been following, whether it's Tencent or Douyin, they are doing extremely well. All those that are subjects of listing in Hong Kong, right? So you can see, if you have read today's 新闻报, you can find the share market in USA today 跌得很厉害，但是在香港涨得 the other way around. So you can see why I want to introduce these subjects, because these subjects has to do with insider trading, market manipulations during a Great Depression. Right now, we are in the middle of a global Great Depression, right? Whether it's Singapore or in London or all over Europe, 很多人失业. It's a Great Depression going right now based on the informations I received from IMF and 世界银行. We are in the middle of a Great Depression. And during these times, we have to understand insider trading and market manipulation. This is, I believe, will be history repeating itself. So this is the, now, what is the rationale for insider trading? What is the rationale? Right? So, 内幕交易法的依据, what is the rationale? The maintain one is you must have maintain confidence, right, of the public. Public means 公众的信心, investing public, right? It has to be 保持投资者的信心, right? And another thing is that you must understand confidence and information is for the company, right? You see, let's put in number 2, 公司信息只能以公司. It belongs to the company. Therefore, only can be used for the benefit of the company and not for the individual. Okay? Not for the individual. Now, let me read to you first. This is from chapter 10 of my book. Chapter 10. Okay? I read to you. Insider trading takes place when an individual makes use of unpublished, price-sensitive information about a company's securities to his personal benefit, the insider personal benefit, right? Now, as I said before, an insider does not have to be 公司的股东, can be investment banker, 投资银行者, can be 公司律师, can be trade unionist, can be 公司的会计师, and can also be governmental inspectors, governmental inspectors, okay, who conduct company investigations. Inspectors can be government people. They were going to a company, right, to do investigation, right? I have been an investigator in Ungawa, right? Government inspector, okay, appointed by the government. So, as I mentioned before, an insider can take advantage of price-sensitive information to make a gain or to avert a loss. Gain or loss, right? An insider does not have to be a director or an officer of the company. Officer of the company 就是公司的管理人. Now, for example, if a takeover requires involvement of various types of professionals, you have like investment bankers, right? The company's lawyer, 包括律师、会计师 right? These are the people that make up the group other than directors and shareholders. Okay, this is the position. Now, let's talk about the English positions. The English positions. Just now is the American positions. We have to know a little bit about the English position. Now, many of you, including 3 of my former students from Renta, they are now working in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is based on 英国公司法, right? Because Hong Kong is a 普通管辖权的城市，香港地方, right? And Singapore is also English law. So when you are going to be lawyers, and most of you are this year in 本科大3、大4，有些已经毕业了 you will know that you need to have dealings with Chinese company 到香港或者新加坡上市 right? You have to know the English position. But in England, it is not called insider trading. It is known as market abuse. And this is under the Financial Market Services, right? 2000, right? That is in England, FMSA 就是英国的法规 and the authority 建图架构是 Financial Services Authority. Now, there is a definition of market abuse. Market abuse arises when an insider deals in a qualifying investment on the basis of insider information relating to the investment in question. So, the next slide. Now, still in England, insider information under FMSA, and right? Now, this is a Financial Market Securities Act, which is a statutory legislation, right? It is defined in 118C. It includes information of a precise nature, which is not generally available, right? So it is not for the public. 2, it relates to the qualifying investment, the particular stocks, would, if generally available, significant effect of the price of the qualifying investment. Now, I'm going to ask my good friend here, Sima. I think he is going to discuss David Macy's case, right?
Yes, Professor. Can I
Please carry on. And by the way, he was one of the mooters that I met in Beijing when I was one of the judges. Carry on, please.
Yes. 现在我来给大家介绍一下David Massey versus Financial Services Authority 这一个案件。这是一个英国的案件，申请人 Massey 是 ACOM 金融咨询公司的管理人员。ACOM 在 AIM 上市 ，AIM 是供小型公司寻求企业成长资本的伦敦证券交易市场。作为顾问 ，Massey 寻求帮助寻找潜在的投资者，处理金融公共关系和起草通告。他利用从咨询服务获得的内幕信息，以打折销售的短线交易获得了超过10万英镑的净利润。FSA 对其处以28万英镑的罚款，并且禁止其执行任何相关活动的职能。Massey 不同意 FSA 认定的市场滥用，并且将案件提交至更高一级的法庭，也就是 Tax and Chancery Chambers。 法庭需要决定 Massey 的做空交易是否构成 FSMA 第118条下的市场滥用，以及 Massey 是否有任何法定抗辩。如 Massey 有法定抗辩，法庭就必须考虑与禁令并处之经济惩罚的合理标准。法庭同意了 FSA 的关于 Massey 的市场操控以及他使用内部信息获取巨大利润的决定。3名法官不必考虑任何 Massey 可以引用的例外或避风港规则，因为 Massey 没有依靠任何这样的规则。相反的，他唯一的抗辩是他用于形式的信息不精确、已公开并且不属于价格敏感信息。按照 FMSA 2000第123条 A 款，如果 Massey 有合理的理由相信他的行为不存在市场滥用的定义范围内，并且在警告令中回应了此问题，他将不会受到处罚。最终，法庭得出结论，认为本案存在市场滥用行为，并支持了 FSA 的禁令，经济惩罚被轻微地减少到15万英镑。法庭的判决由 Andrew Bartlett QC 作出，对 Massey 做以下评论：一个合格合理的市场专业人员，即使对市场操纵法定标准并无准确了解，也会认识到该交易至少有构成滥用的风险，因此应停止或实施，在行动前咨询相关意见，确认其合法性。也就是我们所说的不知法者不免责在这一案件中的体现。这就是以上我对于 David Massey vs Financial Services Authority 一案的介绍，谢谢。
OK， 分析得很好。另外一个案子呢，就是 is regarding a student, right? This is a case that I will discuss with you. It's a case arising from Matthew Francis Ubright， 也是10年前的一个英国的案子。这个 case 呢是一个法学本科学生在一家上市公司当实习在一间公司 ，then as an intern 实习，他得到了一些消息。Then what did he do? 他交给他的业父 who make a lot of profit, a lot of money, but his 业父 was prosecuted under Criminal Justice Act. Criminal Justice Act 是刑法 because insider trading 可以民法，也可以受刑法的 punishment. It's very interesting. Okay, now this is see, in a recent English case, the parents of an intern received insider information from him while working in the corporate broking arm of a top institution, was prosecuted for insider trading under the Criminal Justice Act in England. Criminal Justice Act, right? And I know, for example, quite a number of students in 国际律师楼实习, right? And the information that you get is strictly confidential. You cannot give it to your parents or give it to 女生给男朋友还是男生给女朋友. That is amounts to criminal action. This is exactly happened in this case, reported case of a student who was an intern, right? Now, what is the objective? The objective in England is the same. It's maintenance of public confidence and financial stability, the enhancement of public awareness, consumer protection, and the reductions of financial crime. So all these are very, very important. I'll just let you know that as law students, I suppose most of you are law students, maybe a few of you, maybe 会计系学生. We know that in banking secrecy, right? Any information between customer and banker 是保密的. But when there is insider information's case going on, what happened? In the course of an investigation, banking secrecy between a banker and the clients can be set aside. Can you just imagine? Banking secrecy can be set aside in the course of insider trading investigation. Okay, next one. Now, number 7, yes. So what is 什么是敏感的消息呢？什么是敏感的信息呢？ One, news of a company's financial crisis, especially financial, right? Something to do with 公司财务的消息。Or, most important thing, 公司被并购的消息，收购的消息 ，very important. Big news, profitable, and knowledge of an offer for the purchase of shares at a higher price. Then, what is public? Public means, later on I'll explain, public does not mean everyone in the streets. Public means that particular section that is interested in the news. 假如是船务公司还是物流公司呢？ The public will be the people that are showing the interest surrounding 船务公司、船厂、物流公司。It does not include the postman or someone working in the 理发店. No, it's not public. The public is confined to the interested public, interested sector of the public. Okay, next one. Now, for insider trading, you can be prosecuted under 刑法. Well, just to let you know, if you're interested in this chapter, I will make available to you, which is chapter 10 of the 4th edition of my book. And right now, I have a very good team, and Sima is one of them. We are coming out with the 5th edition, which will have 1,100 pages. Yes, 中英文. Okay? Now, Criminal Justice Act of England, right? Criminal Justice Act of England. Okay? It cannot be, it have to be England. Have to be shares listed on a regulated market. 就是好像是伦敦交所、新加坡交所、香港交所. Now, here, who are the people to be regulated? They have to be the individuals, but not the corporate or institutional investors. Individual 是个人，不是公司投资者，是个人投资者. Right? And this is, as I mentioned before, is discussed in the English case of Regina means the Queen. This is an England case in 2009. Okay? So the sign mentions about 个人受到监管，不是公司. Next one, please. Now, we talk about directors. Directors 也有法定的限制 There are restrictions. 上市公司的董事有一个责任，假如是他们对自己公司的股份有兴趣，或想收购自己公司的股份，或上市公司，他们是上市公司的董事，也包括上市公司，包括一切上市公司的子公司。 一间大上市公司子公司也许也有100家 right? And they have a duty to disclose any purchase of shares or interest. Interest is important, all right? So as long as there's interest, it's good. Okay, now come to prohibitions of directors. Number 9. In England, there is the model law. The model law is the model code. Model code is not legislation, it's something to govern trading by directors. Model code consists of 法规. Directors are generally prohibited from trading in the shares of the company within a period of 2 months preceding important announcement. Right? You can see here that, wow, 公司发布前2个月内 anything to do with news, they are not allowed to buy or shares, right? Why? This is to maintain public confidence. In England, under this model law, is something like 前2个月内买卖公司的股票. But other countries will be different. Like in Canada, like in Singapore, may not be 2 months. It can be a longer period, right? But 2 months, I think, in my submissions, is reasonable. Okay, the next one, please. So insider 个人的种类 then 包括什么人呢？内部人士肯定是包括董事、员工和股东 right? The people with access to information, company information too, by virtue of their employment, like 管理人 officers or professions, especially 公司律师 right? From outside the company, from 律师楼 or from 交所的法律顾问 okay? And can also be people with no business links to the company, right? Mean no business link. 没有关系的，没有业务的关系 right? You get people with no business links to the company. Next slide, please. Okay, this word hippies was created by my mentor, Professor Louis Laws at Harvard Law School. He created this word hippies. Very interesting word. I don't know why it was funny as 领受人, right? People who obtain information directly from one of the insiders. In this case here, there's Matthew Francis Oberoi is working in an investment bank. Earlier, I say 上市公司, but it's an investment bank, right? He's just working as, not as lawyer, just 在投资银行当一个实习学生. You got information when he was working. Sometimes we give confidential file to 实习学生. The informations are confidential. In this case here, he gave the information to his relative. So he would be in a situation what they call tippies. Tippies. Next one, please. Now, who are the people that they don't have to 免负责任 包括谁呢？ In law, you have general defense and specific defense. For those of you who like to do one area of company law, that is the corporate litigation. Litigations includes fighting a company law case like this kind of situation in court or in arbitration tribunal, 仲裁庭, right? Like, just to let you know, very lucky, 非常荣幸，我已经上诉到英国诉讼院了，是我个人已经上诉到英国诉讼院。I was very lucky, very fortunate. Now, what are the defenses? One is general defense. General, 一般看遍的。Accused must demonstrate that he would act in the same manner even without access to the inside information. Means that you have to establish that the accused is going to buy the shares regardless of the information that they obtain, but he has to produce 很重要的就是有什么证据呢？有什么证据呢？ Right? So evidence is very important. He must show the interest. Suppose even before the insider information, few months late before, he has written emails, written articles that such shares in a company of a company A is generally interested by him. Okay, so then there's specific defense. Information widely available, true, not public, accused thus believe there is a widespread disclosure, and none of those taking part in the dealings would be prejudiced by not having the information. Okay, next slide, please. Then you have a generation from liability for 投资银行者 and investment groups. Why? Sometimes investment banks, they have this concept of market information concept. They have market strategies. They go around buying shares, and that have some defenses must be available to 投资银行者 and fund managers, right? They are very important, right? That will include 投资银行家 and 资金经理人. This have to be the case. This is happening in every financial city, whether it is in Singapore, Hong Kong, London, or in the major cities in China. You have fund managers. These days are very active. Okay, next slide, please. Now we talk on to part 2. Part 1 is insider trading. Part 2 is 市场操纵. Now, who can be involved in market manipulation? 个人吗？还是公司？ Can be an individual or a group of individuals. A group of individuals, right? That is different from a company. But very important, you must understand that the action for 市场操纵 must be deliberate and calculated. Must be deliberate and calculated. Then, what are the characteristics? 需要什么条件呢？ One, restriction on the supplies of securities in the public market. Means that they create a situation, then 某某公司的股份是越来越少, or they change the price by manipulation. They dominate and control the market for the particular security. Then there's a sudden collapse of the price of the security after the manipulative activities has ceased. They can create sudden collapse of the price deliberately or they can create a shortage of the securities, 就是某某上市公司的股份 right? The purpose is market manipulation, dominating and controlling the market for the security. Number 16, please. Now, we talk about 16, the English position first, 16. 16th. Yes. Now, in England, it is still called market abuse, right? Under the Financial Market Securities Act, market abuse. It is market manipulations is under this position called market abuse. Okay, behavior that is likely to give a regular user of the market a false or misleading impression, right? Deliberately. Okay, the situation here, now I will make a mistake here. We have to go back to number 16 earlier. 16. This is 17. Go back to 16. Yeah. Look, market manipulation under US 证券法 under 10B of the SEC. SEC is the act was in 1934, but it's very important act. Makes it unlawful to engage in any trading or activities calculated to be manipulative or deceptive devices or contrivances. This is clearly mentioned in the Security Exchange Act. Now, illegal to manipulate securities traded on the main exchanges or over the counter. So it's illegal over the counter trading. Like in England, you have AIM. In America, you have over the counter, and then you have New York Stock Exchange, and then you have NASDAQ, right? So this is very interesting. It can be over the counter or can be in the main exchange. Okay, next, number 18. Okay, this one, okay, number 18. Now, good. Manipulative acts under English law, right? 是怎样的行为呢？是怎样的行为呢？就是属于操纵呢？按照英国法 ，Now false impression. Okay, false impression, 虚假印象 to secure the price of the qualifying security at an artificial price. Artificial price means it's not natural. And this disseminating information which is likely to give a false or misleading information, right? Deliberately. So deliberately 就是进行清洗行动 right? What is the purpose? It's because of 虚假或者是误导信息的 information. That's very important. I like these subjects very much because this is one area of company law and 证券法 I can go to court to fight. This is for students and for those of you who are active and taking part in 模拟法庭, you'll be naturally active in litigation. Next slide, please. Still. Now, still under England. FSA, right? FSA is translated as 英国金融服务管理区. Cannot find anyone guilty of market manipulation by entering into artificial transaction or price positioning unless he has an actuating purpose. Actuating purpose. Meaning that you must have this standard. It's called actuating purpose. Actuating purpose is here translated as 执行目的. It's a little bit different from criminal law. Criminal law is menstrual, but in securities and market abuse, it is called actuating purpose, which is a new term. You have to define what is actuating purpose. Okay, now come to 20, please. Now, what is an actuating purpose? Now, the FSA handbook 就是 FSA 的法规 has some descriptions. Describe an actuating purpose as a purpose that incites or motivates a person to act. And there is a very old case. 100多年前的一个案例 Rex versus Virgins. So what happened is, in this case here, is someone went to the city of London to describe that Napoleon lost the war, creating situations like that. Or you can create something that is, for example, completely falsehood, right? You can say that the Shanghai port has been bombed by terrorists. That is actuating purpose. Or the London's City Bank has been bombed by the terrorists. That is actuating purpose that incites or motivates a person to act. Then because of that kind of self-say, 很多人会把他们的某某公司、上市公司的股份卖光. That will create a collapse in the securities market. Now, let me tell you one thing. Based on my practice as a litigation lawyer in Canada and in Singapore, such things have happened in Asia. Such things have happened in Asia. Next one, please. This is a case, Winterport Securities and others. But the name you can see is securities is definitely 咨询公司. Now here is an attempt to acquire AIM 就是英国的 Nasdaq. It's not the main 交所, it's AIM, a listed vehicle from existing shareholders with a share scheme. And because of this, the price went up 5 times. Because of this, the 交所 suspended trading in the shares of this company, and the FSA considered the attempts of Sankaran what they were manipulating amounted to market abuse. They were heavily fined. Why? Because they wanted to attempt to 收购一家 AIM 的上市公司 from existing shareholders, and they make use of a scheme, 一种计划 that resulted in 那间 AIM 上市公司的股份涨5倍，涨5倍。Now, this has happened, for example, in a case which I did, which is involving Hong Kong mainland Chinese shareholders and Canadians, and that company is called Jialing, which is a 林业公司 that resulted in the biggest financial collapse in North America securities market, right? It's called Jialing, and the shares went up from a situation like that, it went up by something like 20倍。Jialing, that company has directors and 股东 in 香港城市，还有他们的林业在中国南方7个省，他们是搞林业的。That has something to do just like this Winterflood Securities case, right? I was involved in that case as one of the many lawyers, right? And that 林业公司 was the biggest collapse in the securities market of North America. I may do a lecture on this, just on Jialing. Okay, next one. 22. OK， 是吧？你帮我读可以吗？我喝咖啡，你帮我读。
OK，
这3个人。
This is Winterflood Securities and Others versus FSA。这3人试图从现有股东手中收购一辆 AIM 上市的汽车，其股价上涨了5倍。伦敦证券交易所暂停了该公司股票的交易。金融服务管理局认为这3个人的企图构成了市场滥用，取巨额罚款。被告质疑金融服务管理局在其法庭上的决定，辩称他们的活动没有任何激励目的。审裁处后来的上诉法院认为，在市场滥用案件中没有必要存在激励目的。
OK， 23 Natural market investing public 需要一个自然的市场。Now, this Lord Justice is a 上诉院的法官 ，LJ 是上诉院的法官。So we quoted the market conduct in the Code of Market Conduct in this Winterflood Securities case. The Code of Market Conduct is 市场的法规 and this judge say it is a transaction which creates a false or misleading impression where the purpose behind the transaction was to induce others to trade in or to position or to move the price of a qualifying investment, right? 中文翻译得很好 So you can see the words in Chinese, right? 什么是自然的市场 And this is a very good quotation from a 上诉院的法官 Very important. Okay, so read it, then you will know why they like to influence the price. Okay, next one, please. Nope. No. The definition of market manipulation. So out of my respect, I have to quote Professor Louis Laws of Harvard Law School, and he did a chapter, right? He was my mentor, together with Professor Gower. Professor Louis Laws of Harvard Law School concluded in Fundamentals of Securities Regulation. What did he say? It is the essence of the matter is that the public, right? 公众有权进入一个 right 一种什么自然的市场。The essence of the matter is that the public, the investing public, right, has a right to a natural market with which no one has temper. No one has temper. That is very important. No one has temper. The natural market. That is the definition of Professor Louis Laws. Then the most famous securities and company law professor in 哈佛大学，他也是 SJD 的 supervisor. And the interesting thing is that SJD is 哈佛大学的博士文凭，他是很多中国博士生、新加坡、香港地方、台湾省的博士导师。But Professor Louis Laws 虽然是一个 SJD supervisor， 他只有一个本科 ，but he is supervisor for more than 100 博士生。Okay, next one, please. 25. My very beloved professor. Now, 英国呢 market abuse or insider trading 也是一种刑法。Then you have to have 刑法警示性 criminal prohibitions in England. This had to take place. One, making of a statement that is reckless or misleading, that will have the effect of either inducing means 吸引投资者 or reframing means that to prevent them from making an investment. So this is the standard for criminal proceeding to take place in England, right? That is when market abuse will be punished as a criminal offense. So the making of a statement that is reckless or misleading that will have the effect of either inducing or refraining from making an investment. Number 26, please. Now, then criminal prohibitions in England. I mentioned here, it is always England. As there's one student here who has a LLM from Aberdeen. 因为在斯格兰是 civil law， 只有英国威尔士是普通法管辖权 ，right? Scotland is civil law. That is why I mentioned the word, keep on mentioning the word England. As soon as I use the word UK, it should be England. Now, it relates to a course of conduct that creates, an atmosphere of false or misleading information on the market or the value of any investment. The source is again from the Financial Market Securities Act, right? So that is again the same definition, right? The purpose is 影响投资者股份的价格. That is the main aim. By creating false or misleading information on the market. Number 27, please. So you can have sanction, you have prosecutions, the FSA can impose a sanction, and it's sanctions 就是一个警告的通知啊 in lieu of 罚款 that is very light for maybe a lighter situation or when the market abuse situation is not serious or issue a warning prior to a penalty prior to a penalty 就是处罚前得到一个警告的通知 but usually not very active. But the respondent has a right to appear before the Financial Services and Market Tribunal. This is an internal regulatory body. You can appear to a tribunal, right? It's just like 上市法院, but it is within the financial services market. Okay. Number 28, please. However, the FSA can always appeal to the court, right? The FSA can always appeal to the court. The FSA can appeal to the court. 他们有这种权利 Any court, the court means the court in England, for an injunction to restrain a future market abuse, right? 申请禁令 injunction to prevent future abuse. The FSA, the governmental body, can apply to the court for an injunction to stop, to restrain, to minimize the future market abuse. Okay? Then the court then can order the assets of the market manipulator, 个人他的资产 right, can be 被 frozen, right, 冻结他的任何资产 This is very effective. You can apply to the court for an order that the assets be frozen, meaning that he cannot sell his house, he cannot buy and sell any company's securities, he cannot even deal in any transaction. That is called frozening the assets. Okay, number 29, which is the last slide. This is very important. A restitution order by the court. Restitution order. Like you may have heard in Malaysia, the big case called 1MDI, I think, that the big 投资银行 in America and even in Singapore has to pay penalty restitutions to more than 2亿新币 and that was announced of a very major investment bank. Okay, now restitution order by the court under this same act, Financial Market Services Act, the FSA, right, can apply to the court for restitution order. The FSA compelled the manipulator to pay a sum to it as it's deemed fit, means that asking the manipulator to pay many times from whatever he has made as a result of his manipulation. Then whatever that is given to the court would then be distributed. Now the proceeds would then be distributed to individuals who suffer as a result of manipulation, right? Then it's just like 赔偿那些损失的投资者。Now, with this is my last lecture on company law for 2020 this year.